Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Swim Run Show podcast. This week we've got a great guest, the founder and creator of the MySwimrunChampionships, Andreas Sachs. We talk all sorts of great topics, including age groups in swimrun, solo championships, different distance categories within those championships, and something called the Swim Run Battle, which sounds a lot of fun. So yeah, we will get into that very soon. Before that though, we've had a great question from Pete Jervis, who runs for Maldwyn Harriers Run Club, and he also competes for Total Tri Training. So Pete's asked, Swim Run Liverpool, what shoes shall I go for, road or trail? Well, let me just say what the terrain is like underfoot, and that will hopefully help. So 98% of it is hard packed surface. So we're talking like pavement, tarmac, concrete, and it's flat generally. The only couple of bits that are maybe worth consideration are the swim get in. So that'll be on wooden decking, which could be slippy when wet. And there's a couple of tight chicane turns as well on that just before the get in. So that might be a consideration. And then the swim get outs are up a ramp, concrete ramp, which could be slippy when wet. Other than that though, guys, it's pretty flat. It's urban. So we're not talking about mountains, etc. And if I was racing, I'd probably go with the Adidas Speed Ultra. Terex Speed Ultra. I trust them. They work for me. They drain quick, which is a great feature of a swim run shoe. So yeah, it's not, but whatever you're comfortable really in. If you've done a few wet park runs or something similar, whatever works for you on that would probably work on this. Hope that helps, Pete. Next up, John from Fenland Runner has very kindly sent us some podium prizes for our events. So thank you, John from Fenland Runner. There's also a 10% discount off the swim run gear at Fenland Runner. So once you sign up to Tallyclin Swim Run, Swim Run Liverpool, or WX Swim Run, you'll receive a 10% discount off Fenland Runner products. So thanks a lot, John. Check him out. And that's it for now in terms of shout outs and questions. Let's crack on. Andreas Sachs, world record holder and founder of the MySwimrunChampionships. Okay, welcome Andreas Sachs over. Well, how are you doing, Andreas? You're not in your native country at the moment, are you?
Thank you for the invitation. Yes, indeed. I'm living in Vienna, but it's cold over there. And I'm lucky that my son went to Florida. So I'm just visiting him now for 3 weeks. So it's nice weather here, about 25, 27 degrees. The ocean has about 22, 23. So nice.
Wow. Oh, it sounds like a good winter swim run destination.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so we are working on
it. Great stuff. So yeah, Andreas is the founder and creator of the MySwimrun Championships, now a world championships. Started in Europe and got on a race over in America now. And yeah, well, we're going to chat about that. But before we do, what's your background in sports, Andreas?
Yeah, I was in my youth. I did a lot of sports, and in particular, I played basketball for 5 or 6 years. I had been national champion in Austria in my youth, and then I worked a lot, 10 years, 15 years, and started about 35 with marathon running and a lot of additional stuff in endurance racing with triathlons, long bicycle races. Yeah, so I did about 25 years, 30 years of, let's say, performance sport.
Wow. Okay. And I believe you've got a world record in cycling. Is that right?
Yeah, I did 20 years ago or 15 years ago. I did the race across America in a four relay team, and that motivated us to go further. And so we organized this race across Australia, also in a relay team, and you cycle against the existing Guinness World Record, and we did it with 4,000 kilometers in about 4 days and some hours. So with 35k of average speed, and so that
Wow.
was a world record, number one. And then 2 years later, we did even bigger race across Russia from Moscow to Vladivostok, about 9,200 kilometers in 13 days. So that was also a world record, and I guess it's still unbeaten. So hope that that
Wow.
stays for a long time.
Yeah, wow, very good. Well done on the cycling there. So what brought you
Yeah,
into swim run? How did you get into swim run?
yeah. I was organizing a lot of sports events. After my Unilever time as a manager over there, I was built my own business, a sports network business, and did a lot of consulting of sport events like Berlin Marathon and so on, so big events. And I started to organize Ironman in Austria, and with 2,000 people, athletes in Podersdorf. And so from step by step, I went more in the swimming. I started to organize swimming events, open water events in Austria. And uh, finally, I also organized the backwaterman open water swimming. It's up to 14k. And then some guys told me, oh, that would be a great surrounding for swim run. And therefore I started thinking about swim run, contacted the Swedish guys and Swiss guys from Oetterle, and we talked about how to organize a race in Austria. So that was the beginning of my swim run event organizing
Brilliant. Wow. So
time.
that's quite different to the numbers you get in the Berlin Marathon. I mean, that's a big one, isn't it, in terms of numbers? And with swim
Yeah,
run,
40,000. Yeah.
yeah, God, wow. Okay, so Backwaterman, that's been around for a while, hasn't it? And that's got quite a few participants every year, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, the backwater and the open water is now 19 years old. So, and it's the sixth edition of the backwater man with about 160 people. But we really have to start from the scratch. So there was no swim run in Austria 5 years ago. So we really had to start from the beginning and to build it up. And there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a swimming event for a while, and then you
Yeah,
added swim run. Yeah, yeah,
right.
swim run.
Yeah.
Cool, great. Okay, brilliant. So that's. I mean, there's probably a lot in there of particularly for the cyclists. I'm sure they could have many questions, but I'm gonna leave that for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, so that was that. So Backwaterman, and then how did you get an idea for like a championship across various countries?
Yeah, well, I mean, 5 years ago, I mean, Stefan Sponer, who was the chairman of HEAD at that time, he was also main sponsor of the Backwaterman Open Water. And so after HEAD left Oettelö and ARC went in, we had the idea to add additional distances to Oettelö with HEAD as a sponsor and with all the HEAD athletes which had been on the list, paying list of HEAD. So we started to think, how could we do compulsory things to Oettelö, different things, because in general the mass market is untouched by Oettelö. I mean, doing a world championship of 70k, that's really crucial and very difficult. Not everybody can imagine to do that. So there are much more people who are not able to do that, but can do a marathon or a half marathon or a sprint. And from my history in triathlon, I know a lot about how to do it in triathlon. And so from those ideas, we started to think how to do it differently with local races, local organizers, with the local culture. But unfortunately, Corona came, and so we stopped the idea. And also, Stefan got problems with his brands of Medways, which are partly Russian owned. And so we had to stop for 2 years. But now, in the third year, 2 years ago, let's say in this way, we said, okay, now we have to start. And we have to start from the scratch without any sponsor, because Stefan was not able to sponsor it. We had no sponsor, but it is the advantage that we are open to each organizer, because we can work with events sponsored by ARC or sponsored by HEAD or sponsored by anybody else. And so we started with about seven events, and the idea is to have championships on a rolling basis in different countries. So in general, for each country, there is a place to have a championship in 3 or 4 years' time on a rolling basis, either a sprint or half or marathon, or now also ultra. And that gives the chance for athletes to have different events, different timings, different water temperatures, different trails. So there's a fair chance for everybody to have his own strengths.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's quite some good things, good distinguishing things about the championships. In that it's each race is organising their own race within the championships, so it's not one. Yeah, it's not like Ötele or.
It's not a central approach. It's really a decentral approach. We don't interfere much to the different races, because we like the different culture and also the different personality of organizers. You will do with your personality, will organize a race differently to a Greek guy or a Spanish guy. And I like that.
Yeah, different flavors.
Different flavors, different ideas. So.
Cool. So to summarize, there's a sprint like final championship world champs, isn't there? There's a what's called a half marathon world championships, a marathon, and a new ultra in Finland, and that if in swim run it's still quite flexible on the distance within each category, but I know in the UK a lot of people are now using kind of sprints, more or less, quite a lot, and then middle is a bit like a half marathon distance, long is a bit like a marathon, and then the ultra is a bit like an ultra. So, but they're quite rough, aren't they, in terms of the boundaries? But they are kind of there.
Yeah, definitely. It depends on the race profiles. I mean, you can't change the landscape. So you have to fit to the landscapes, and therefore there is a variety of lengths, of course. So sprint varies between, let's say, 10K and 15K. So depending, I mean, if you have mountain in the race, if you long swim, so that's everything is, or each race is differently. So you can have it's like triathlon. So that's the nice thing. So you can't compare timings. In triathlon, you always look to the watch. Oh, Ironman! If I'm not below 10 hours, I'm unlucky. So in swimrun, you don't have to look to the watch. You just look to your heartbeat and enjoy the race. And if it's 6 hours or 6:30, it doesn't matter, because you can't compare the timings. That's one of the good things at swimrun.
Yeah, they're so different. So yeah, cool. Don't stress too much about the distances, guys. And there's So yeah, I went to I believe it was the marathon championships in Hydra. Was it the
Yeah,
marathon? Yeah,
yeah,
it
it
was,
was a
wasn't it? Yeah,
marathon. Yeah, it was about 30. It should be about 38K, but you have seen. I mean, you can't always be hero of the weather. So the weather was unlucky on the one side, so they had to change the whole route in loops, and has advantages, disadvantages. But anyhow, it was a marathon championship, and I mean with Martin Flinter and Lisa Ring, especially Martin Flinter is a very well-known guy, and he won Italy all the races in 1 year, so the Golden Bib. And I mean, also Nicolas Ramirez is a well-known guy. He has been second, so
yeah,
strong guys over there.
yeah. No, it was a great race, great place. I'd love to go back. It's kind
And
of
you did a perfect job over there. I was astonished how fast you are.
yeah. We
Great,
did well. We did all right.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. We did all right. Our first podium abroad. Had a few UK podiums, but that was the first one outside of
Yeah,
the UK, so that was good fun.
there might others follow.
Yeah. Being next to Martin Flinter and Nicolas Ramirez was good on the podium there. So along with their partners, of course, and Paul Martin. That was only his second swim run race, but he loved it. He's obviously a great runner and a decent swimmer. So that was good fun. So yeah, one of the things I like about the MySwimrunChampionships is the kind of, it's trying to make a full calendar. So the first race is in April in Portugal,
Yeah,
and the last race is in November in
yeah,
Greece. So for me, I can more likely do the end of season and the start of season. And for a lot of people, I think, who maybe there's people who are triathletes or trail runners or swimmers, and they've got a fully booked summer or whatever. And a good way to get in is the edges of the season. So that's cool.
definitely. Yeah, definitely, especially at the end of the season. If you mentioned triathletes, because many of our athletes come from triathlons or also from swimming, but the summer is fully booked, so they can try it in late autumn, enjoy additional sun. I mean, in Hydra it had 22, 24 degrees. I mean, in end of November, I mean, the ocean had 22, 24 degrees. I mean, that's perfect to have additional sunshine during wintertime in Sweden.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was brilliant. So look, we'll just talk the guys through the races there. I'll just quickly go through them off the website. So we've got 21st of April in Portugal, Troyes, is that how you say it?
Troyes, yeah.
Troyes. That's 21st. That's the world champs in the half marathon distance. Then you've got near Paris in France, swimrun Javelin, 4th of May.
Yeah.
And then Spain, Costa Azahar. That's on the 2nd of June.
Yeah.
Then heading over to North Wales with Love Swim Run, Clanberis on the 15th of June. So that's up in North Wales. Check it out. Great race that. Then over to Austria for Backwaterman, 23rd of June. Still not far, Germany, Rheinsberg, Swimrun Rheinsberg, 30th of June. Over to Finland for the Ultra World Champs on the 13th of July. We're moving on then to Sweden, which I would like to do this one. It's probably unlikely, but this year anyway. But 17th of August, Imeln Swim Run. That's the marathon distance world champs. And then probably the best on the calendar,
Definitely.
WX Swim Run, 8th of September. Here we go.
Definitely.
That is.
I will join over there.
Oh yeah, yeah. So we will see you there, 8th of September, and then America's next, 21st of September, Swim Run Cape Cod. So it's a busy schedule. Then back over to Europe, over to France for Swim Run Côte d'Azur, which is the World Championships in the sprint distance. That's the 20th of October. I might be able to. Well, I haven't qualified, so I can't go. But
you have qualified.
I might go in 2025.
We'll see.
Because of the podium.
Yeah, you might
last year?
have to look on it, but most
Okay,
likely with
I'll have
the
to have a look.
podium, you will have the because of the age groups. I guess you're directly qualified.
Okay, I will look at that. And then Hydra, Greece, that great, brilliant spot, early November. First weekend of November. It's like a weekend, and there's like kids races. There's all sorts going on. It's a proper weekend, 1st till the 3rd of November, and that is a great end of season. So yeah, brilliant. What a schedule!
Yeah, full schedule,
How
so
did
you
you?
don't have to do all the races. But if you
No,
do 2 or 3, that's great. So I mean, the advantage is you have a lot of options, and I mean from traveling distance timing. I mean, most of our races are very close to big cities. I mean, if you go to, for example, to Troya, I mean, Lisbon is 30 minutes from the airport is 30 minutes from Troya, and Chablis in France, 30 minutes from Orly. So
right. Is that because we got the Olympics in Paris, haven't we? In
yeah,
summer. I'm
yeah,
guessing it's a different venue.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's on the eastern part in a lake district, very nice over there. So, but it's
yeah. Okay.
completely different. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Well, it's going to be busy in France, isn't it, this summer? So, yeah, great races. I like the look of the Spanish ones as well. So, yeah, lots to go out there, guys. Um,
Yes, you start from a boat. Yeah, so you have to jump in the water about five
yeah,
meters. So
yeah,
that's always nice. Yeah.
yeah. That looks
And
great.
you get a great paella at the end, and
Okay.
those things I like. Yeah, because who would do who other race would give you a paella at the finish line? Yeah? So that's
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
yeah, that is good. I won't make it this year, but that's on my list for next year. Brilliant. You've touched on age categories, which is it's not really done in the swim runs I know at the moment. It might be a little bit randomly, but what's your take on age categories, Andreas?
Yeah, I mean, used to swimming or also used to triathlons. I mean, there are always age groups because if you're 30 in a certain age, 30 age, then you can't compete with them compared to a 60 years old guy. Yeah? I mean, so to be fair for the athletes, it makes sense to have age groups. I mean, swimrun is definitely the middle age of 45, 50. So they're in general they're a little bit older, coming from triathlon or swimming to swim run. But anyhow, I mean, have different age groups as a solo racer, or we have as a team. It's below 90 and above 90 together, so average 45. So
Hmm.
maybe if we're growing bigger and bigger, maybe we'll have a third category the next coming years. But I think that age groups are important for our athletes.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, definitely, and I know some people, quite a few have mentioned, as I organise couple of races, have asked about age groups, and previously I've resisted it from myself. I've enjoyed. I'm 46 and going on 47, and I've enjoyed up until now being in one pool of people and racing with them. Obviously, I'm getting slower, and the younger guys getting faster. So I get it now. I get the recognition of the older guys. Yes, especially in the team. I like that element where you add the two ages together um, to get 90. But it's a tricky one because, like, I think Daniel Hansen, who's I think he was third male team in the world champs, or maybe fourth this year. He's still very competitive um, with his partner there. So yeah, getting the borders right. I suppose we'll develop over time, won't it?
Yeah. So I mean, we're going with the athletes. If the athletes think that's a good thing, then we continue. If the athletes say that makes no sense, we would stop it. But feedback is positive, so we are continuing with that.
Yeah. Yeah. no, there's definitely more people interested in it, I think. Good stuff. So,
and also the experience
so
from other sports is if you open up a new category in swimming. I did several times. We started with 2 age groups, then we opened up a 50 plus, then immediately 50 plus was fully booked. Then we opened up a 60 plus immediately from 1 or 2 athletes, had been 6, 7 athletes joining. So open up age groups as proven success helps to get more athletes.
yeah, it's certainly a big thing in triathlon, isn't it? It's like really big, and also in fell racing in Wales. Well, in England, the UK, there's something called fell racing, which is like running up and down hills, basically in cold weather normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few age categories in that. Yeah, so brilliant.
It's a matter of costs. That's everything. I mean, some organizers, especially swim run, with small number of athletes. I mean, they have to look to the costs very strict. But with additional number of athletes, I mean, I guess more organizers will open up with age groups.
Yeah, and I almost think that. Because it is, the more age groups you have, there are like more prizes, more admin, more, but I almost think that participants just want the recognition on paper,
Definitely.
I was 60 years old and I was the top of the pile of that age group, for example. It's kind of like just that results recognition. So cool. Okay. So, we have something you mentioned offline called the swim run battle. Andreas, what's that about?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very good idea from Nicolas Ramirez, I guess, 3 years ago during the Corona time, to connect swim runners all over the world. And he started with a swim run battle. I guess there had been about 20 teams all over the world battling against each other. That means it was 1 month's time to add up some of the training sessions or even events, and you add up the kilometers done in swim run, and you have an average for your team, but you also count for yourself. And we used that idea last year to have a swim run battle between Germany and Austria, so a nation battle. We had about 6 teams from Germany and 5 teams from Austria, with about 80 athletes, and it was a great thing. I mean, to motivate people in May to start with their training earlier than maybe they have done, to get new people involved in the swim run society. I mean, we had a lot of newcomers in the battle, and therefore the idea was for 2024, for this year, to do this swim run battle worldwide. On the one hand, you can create a team for yourself, but with several teams, for example, in the UK, you have all the teams count for UK too. So then we have a result UK and US and Sweden and Germany, Austria, Spain. So there will be. You compare your performances against other countries, against other teams, and also on a personal side. So we will have different prizes to reward the different options, and hopefully we will get some UK teams on the list fighting against other nations. But fighting it's a friendship battle. I mean, fun is the most important thing, to get local hotspots together, because you can motivate yourself with others in your team, so that helps getting new people in. So there are a lot of fun should be the major target.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just try and summarize that. So it's teams of people in whichever country, and it's logging is swim run training sessions on Strava or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
and
just
then
need a proof from Garmin or Strava or what else. Yeah? Just need a proof with a photo.
yeah,
You upload your distance of the day to our system, and automatically they get added up on the in the result list.
okay, brilliant. And a team what's the minimum and maximum number of a team?
Yeah, we said the minimum should be 5, because if there are less people, then you can put together a very strong team, and you can compete against 4 strong people maybe. So the minimum is 5 and the maximum is 10. If you have more than 10, then just add another team.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And it's only logging your swim run training. You can't upload just a run or just a swim.
No,
Is that right?
it's a swim run. A swim run
Yeah.
is defined as at least 2 runs and two swims at least. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can upload a training session. You can upload a event, yeah, a race, but it must be a swim run race, definitely.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay. So that's good. And it just occurred to me as we were talking about teams in the sense of a group of people as opposed to
Right.
swim run teams and solo. Yeah. So
Yeah, right.
just on that's reminded me that you have a solo championship, don't you? In each of your finals, you have the solo and the team championship. Yeah.
Right, definitely. Yeah, I mean I know it's always the discussion, only teams. I mean, I guess there are just 2 races all over the world which just have teams and no solo. Hydra is one of the races, but our experience is, I mean, it helps for solo racers to get in the swimrun community and find a partner for the future. And some of the triathletes are solo racers, but anyhow, we are too small, and we have to get new people in the swim run. And if you look to the figures, I mean, there are a lot of solo racers now coming up, and maybe they build teams with somebody else. It's not so easy to find the right partner, so that needs time. Therefore, solo is a good way to open up.
Yeah. Yeah. Just one last thing that's sprung to mind, that sometimes when you're entering races, you're not sure if you have to register separately for a championships. With these, you just register. I think with most of the races in the series, you register, sign up as normal, and the event organizer will automatically submit your results. Is that right?
Yeah, in general, each registration is on the local event homepage. Yeah? So we have no overall registration in our systems. The only thing is what we do. We get the results of the different organizers and build a qualification list, a ranking list. For the qualification in 2024, you had to had the chance to, in 2 years, in 2022 and 2023, to race at our qualifying races and get the points, either being one of the top 50 in the race or via direct qualification. So, and we have a list on our homepage who is qualified for which kind of distance, because you can be qualified for sprint, half, marathon, not for ultra so far, because there was no ultra race last year. But if you have a direct qualification, for example, for marathon, then you're automatically allowed to start at half or sprint. If you have a direct qualification for sprint, you're only allowed to start at sprint, not at half marathon, marathon. Yeah? So that's the thing we do. We do it as a series, but and we of course at for example, half marathon world championships in Troya, there is a separate registration line for the world championships. What we will do is we look at the registration, see if they have the qualification status. If not, then we will check is it with the organizer. Then they do the normal race,
and
not the championships race.
Not the right. Okay, that's good to know actually. So you can still do the race, but you're just not in the World Championship.
Yeah, you can do the normal race, but you're not on the list of the World Championships. So maybe the next year. So
yeah. Okay, brilliant. And it looks like you can. There's a little bit of flexibility with. And I know with some events it was difficult to change partner and do this and that. So you tried to make it quite flexible. The system quite flexible, as long as people have got the points. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
It's the qualification is always on the person, and you can team up with another guy who has the qualification, and so far it works quite well. There are a lot of questions, of course, regarding those systems because it always needs time to get in mind and. Something, oh, sorry, I didn't know last year that I have to qualify. So, but that will change. So with the knowledge and awareness of this, so it will be better from year to year.
Yes, yeah. And guys, there's actually pretty much all of this information on the website, the MySwimrunChampionships.com website, which I'll put a link in the show notes. There's an FAQ section and all sorts of info there. All the qualifier events with links directly to the registration. So yeah, it's all there. I think we covered most important things on the championships.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Cool. No problem. It's been a pleasure. So you're in Florida. So I was listening to. I mean, I'm not really a triathlete at all, but I take an interest because I've got friends in it. And I was listening to the T100 launch. Have you heard of that?
No.
They've got the first event is in Florida in early March, I think, and it looks like the kind of. It's like you've obviously got Ironman, but T100 is something else. So it's like another championship. So yeah, it was interesting to hear how that's and there's one in London as well. So that's cool. That there's one in the UK. So yeah. But will you still be in Florida for that?
No, I will stay for 10 other days and then back to cold Austria, going for some skiing, some skiing over there.
Nice skiing, brilliant. And so you've got Cape Cod there. Are there any sneak previews of any other destinations for the championships? Or is it all confidential?
All our. What do you mean? I mean, if you look, what do you mean with sneak information?
Any new countries you're trying? You're working with.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of additional questions. We had questions from Cyprus and other countries to join. I mean, also, of course, we will work to extend our qualifying events, maybe to other countries. But there will definitely be other races coming up. I don't know at the moment how fast we want to proceed, but the interest of organizers all over the world is growing, definitely.
Yeah. There's plenty, isn't there? And it'd be good. Yeah, Cyprus, I suppose, could be another November one, couldn't it? I suppose, like end of November or something. Yeah, I'm just thinking of extending the season.
Yeah, I mean, if you look to the UK weather, so then it would be nice in Cyprus, yeah. But anyhow, I mean, it could be other countries too, and I mean, in general, we want to strengthen our main markets. I mean, therefore we added additional race in France this year. We have 2 races in UK, and UK is really booming, I guess. If I look to the kind of races and the initiatives over there, it's great. Maybe there will be additional race over there. Sweden is still just 1 race, might be additional one. Benelux looks interesting for us too, so let's see.
Let's see. Okay, cool. Well, 2024 is going to be busy. Let's enjoy 2024, and yeah, thank you, Andreas, for coming on. Great to chat again.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much for the invitation, and good
No
luck
problem.
for everybody. Yeah? And go ahead with your initiatives. It's a great one. Yeah? Thank you for your podcast.
No problem. Yeah, thank you, yeah. And thank you for listening, guys. And all the kind of links, well, it's mostly MySwimrunChampionships.com. I'll put that down in the show notes and check it out. So, Andreas, auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
Okay.
Thank you. All the best. Wish you all
you.
the best. Oh, excellent German. So,
Thank you.
auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye.
So great chat there with Andreas. Lots going on in 2024. Just picking up on the swim run battle. I believe it's called the Friendship Battle on the website there, which I will link to in the show notes. I've noticed, as Andreas said, you can include your your Garmin or your Strava or whatever it is from races as well. And in the UK, during the period that the battle is going on, from the 11th of May to the 9th of June, there's six races in the UK during that period, starting on the 18th of May with Swim Run Liverpool. Then on the next day, 19th of May, South East Swim Run down at Mitchett in the southeast of England. Then on the 25th of May, Hokey Cokey, St Austell Bay in Cornwall, Mad Hatter events. 1st of June, Tallyclin Swim Run, Snowdonia, Wales. Then the 8th of June, Great North Swim Run in Windermere. And then 9th of June, which is the last day of the battle, I'm pretty sure it'll still be included, the Neen Park Swim Run by As Keen as Mustard in Peterborough. So all of those results from those races can be included in the battle. So I think as a UK nation, we can get some points on the board here. So yeah, check it out at the website MySwimrunChampionships.com, which I'll link to. Read through. There's a bit to read, not lots. It's pretty straightforward. And I believe Pete Jervis, who asked the question earlier and is the current champion of Tallyclin Swim Run, he's forming a team. He's put a shout out on the Swim Run, one of the Swim Run UK Facebook groups. Things are starting to happen. And as mentioned previously, hope to see lots of you at the National Outdoor Expo in Birmingham on the 23rd and 24th of March. Use the code SwimRunUK, all capital letters, to get a free ticket. But I think that code expires this week or next week, so act now. Okay, thanks for listening, guys, and catch you soon.